Welcome back, guys. We have learned how to set goals, smart framework, right? And we have understood the proper way of defining goals as well, right? Now let's understand there are two types of goals. Goals can be divided into two. Number one is short-term goals. Short-term goals. So which means probably 6 months to 1 year based on the amount of project that is available. Second one is a long-term goals, which is long term, 3 years to 5 years kind of a thing, right? How do you define long term goals and short term goals, right? That's most important topic that we are going to discuss now. Long term goals, when they are broken into small pieces, they become short term goals. So to just bring some analogy, in any university, for example, if you want to complete your 4 years of BTech degree, for example, right, or 2 years of any other degree like MSc, or 3 years graduation, if you want to complete that, then the government of India by default it has actually broken them into various semesters. So you complete first sem, second sem, third sem, fourth sem, fifth sem, like that, then you will complete your entire graduation or PG, whatever is supposed to be. So that's a simple thing about short-term goals and long-term goals. Apart from these long-term goals, you can have very short-term goals for itself, right? Some goals can't be long-term. For example, if I want to buy a bicycle with some kind of amount that I have already, if it is costing 5,500 rupees, and if I have just 2,000 rupees with me, in next 3 months I can save some more money and buy within the 6 months. So that could also be possible. But majorly long-term goals will be broken into short-term goals, and then we define certain milestones. We call them, achieving every single short-term goal is called one milestone. But that's okay. This is, you can read from any other literature that is available on web. More importantly, why do goals fail? Many people, when I asked many people this, they said lack of focus. Okay, that's agreed. Lack of resources. Okay, agreed. When I say resources, money is not there, time is not there, this is not there, that is not there. I go back to our growth mindset session. These guys are just complaining, but they are not coming up with the solutions. So that's all a different story. But when I analyzed a lot, I got to know at one particular thing which is missing in people when they miss out goals. I will give a very small example. Let's understand there is a young person, around a 22-year-old guy, who is in love, right? He is passionate about that beautiful girl out there. And when this guy routine. In routine life, father continues to say, wake up at 4 o'clock, study, wake up at 4 o'clock, study. But this guy never responds to that. But at one fine day, he gets to know that that girl is going to tuition classes right in the morning, 6 o'clock. Do you know what this guy will do? He will wake up at 4 o'clock and he'll go and stand there, right? Just to watch her, as simple as that. So now look at what is there in this. This is also a kind of goal. But what is there? A lot of emotion is there in that. If you have emotion attached to your goal, then there is no way that you will miss out the goal. I'll tell you a beautiful story around this as well. There used to be a boy who is passionate about playing soccer, right? You know, right? Football. Playing soccer. This guy is highly passionate. Every day morning, he used to come to the ground along with the father, and this guy also practices sometime along with the coach and other students, the other players, and then he leaves. This is to be general routine. But this guy never performed to the extent, but after, as we have already discussed about over a period of practice, this guy also got some place in the team. So this guy is happy about that, father is happy about that, and other participants had their own doubts about his own ability of playing soccer in such a big competition. One fine day, first day, the player runs, the match over, and these guys have done pretty much good job. But coach has his own doubts on the performance of this person, this boy. And second day onwards, he disappears. Second day, he has not come. Third day has not come. Fourth day has not come. And there is a final match. This particular team made their own way to final match. On the final day of the match, this guy comes in, and the coach, if you are a coach, what will you do? You will never encourage that guy, right? Similarly, the coach never encouraged this guy to be part of the final match, because he has not been there in the entire journey. He was just there in the beginning. Then this guy pleads coach like anything. He cries in front of the coach. He does every single thing, and finally coach agrees after a lot of difficulty, and he says, if you do not perform well today, in entire your life I will not give you any chance. With that promise, this guy goes into the ground. That day, this guy plays, the kind of performance he has exhibited there is never before and never again. Everybody was just looking at this guy among all the players on the ground. And at the end, with a historical score, they win the match, and at last, after taking all the cups and everything, they come to the coach, and this guy says, thank you coach for giving me the opportunity. And then coach has a question. Coach asked this guy, my dear boy, I have never seen you playing like this. What happened in the last 4 or 5 days? What happened? Where were you all these days? Why have you exhibited such a wonderful play today? I have never seen. Then this boy responds, coach, if you remember, I used to come along with my father every day to the same ground. Unfortunately, he is no more with me. And I believe he is watching my play for the first time from there. You know why? He was blind. That's why that drove me to exhibit this kind of a performance. So that's a story. Now look at what is in the story. The emotion. This guy, was he a great player earlier? No. But the kind of emotion that he has attached to the goal made him to go to the extent possible, and he made it. Now, if you actually scan your own community, there could be 100 different stories like this. Right? This knowledge you can get anywhere, but this kind of knowledge of successful people, only if you go and talk to them that you will understand. So, in your goal, do you have a goal where some emotion is attached? Then you will definitely be very, very successful. That's the first level. On second level, when the emotion gets attached to something, what will happen? Let's go back to other story, right? Now, the boy was not waking up early in the morning despite telling him 100 times. But when he fell in love, when the girl is going to the tuition classes right in the morning, this guy wakes up at 4 o'clock without even alarm, without even somebody reminding this guy. Right? So what's happening there? So the formula there is 3V. I call them as a 3V formula. 3V formula. First V stands for visualize. All the time, visualize as if you have already achieved the goal. Visualize as if you already achieved the goal. For example, if your goal is to buy a bike, like kids, you do this, right? I'm going in a bike kind of thing. So you always visualize, right? That's first thing. That when you visualize, what will happen? You are actually programming your mind. Go back to our growth mindset class. When you program your mind, that by default happens after some time. Then second V, verbalize. You continue to talk about this with the people around. Again, I'll go back to story. Wherever there's a lot of emotion got attached, people by default, without telling them, they continue to talk about their goals. So when you attach your emotion to that, you will talk to the people around. When you talk to the people around, there are two things that will happen. One is you will have fear within, I already told them that I will achieve this goal. If I don't achieve, then what? People question me. That's one thing. Second thing, when you are telling people, they themselves will remind you over and again, over a period of time, they ask you, hey, what happened? Are you in the right path? Are you in the right path? Then they also start preparing me, programming my mind for achieving this goal. And last V is all about vitalize. When I say vitalize, what does it mean? Vitalize meaning adding some more energy to that, which means, let's say for example, adding some more energy. When you think of that, let's say if it is a object, I want to buy a bike. Whenever you see a bike, you touch the bike and you feel, okay, this is my bike. Energy, right? You put a lot more energy to that. If it is a virtual thing, then you will just visualize and add some more energy to that. So when you're constantly doing all these 3 V's, which means you are programming your mind, then things fall in place automatically. Right? So that's it, guys. Let me recap what we have learned. We have learned that there is something called a goal and there is something called a dream. When in the SMART framework, when you put your dream, then it becomes a goal. And then goal can be broken into two things, short-term goals and long-term goals. And every short-term goal is called one milestone, and we need to focus on achieving milestones. And then we will only be successful or we fail in achieving goals when there is no emotion attached. When emotion is attached, these 3 V's will by default happen. Otherwise, because now you know, apply this 3 V formula in achieving your goals. Good luck. Thank you so much.